I was at a point in my life where I was just thinking, I can't. Yeah, I'm only 54. What? What's in store for me now if I'm struggling at work? I've got another 20 years of this.
Steve, how did you find Carnivore?
Yeah, I found it through trying to look into sleep apnea. I was diagnosed it in 2021, February. Um, so yeah, I mean, they did explain at the time that sleep apnea was weight related as well. If you put on a lot of weight. So they give out the dietary guidelines at the time, the food pyramid, and you try and stick to it, and you do stick to it. I found I didn't really lose weight from it. My weight was always up and down over the years. I think at my heaviest, I was about 226 pounds. So yeah, it was a problem. I mean, my girlfriend, she noticed that I was holding my breath, and she was worried about it. I didn't realise I was doing it. So yeah, I went to the doctor. They referred me to the sleep clinic, and it all sort of went from there. I had the test, I had the monitor put on, and the breathing to check it all out, and gave it all back the next day, and just waited for their reply. Got a letter through the post, and it said something on there about 30 episodes, I suppose, in the night. And I thought, okay, I'll phone them up and we'll see. And I said, is that bad? She goes, well, that's 30 times an hour that you're holding your breath. So, and how long are you holding your breath for? 20 seconds, 30 seconds? It's practically spending half a night, not breathing. And it affects all your day to day, your work, it suffers. Anything you do, your leisure time, everything. I mean, I nearly fell asleep at the traffic lights, temporary traffic lights, and just sitting there. And it's one of these ones that seem to go on for ages. And yeah, I found myself nodding asleep, and that was sort of the end of that. I needed to get help. But you get ratty with people, lack of sleep. You don't realise. So yeah, so I got the CPAP machine, and for the last, for since then until about 6 or 7 months ago, you're taking it everywhere with you, and my work takes me abroad a lot, France, uh, Germany, America, Algeria, um, and also my hobby, ten pin bowling. You're traveling around Europe, and everywhere you go, you just got to take this box with you, and it's not convenient. So I kind of got to the point where I needed to find. It was getting worse again, and I was adjusting the levels on the machine. I had the humidifier, so that was I had that on the side, and so you're always adjusting the levels, trying to get it right, trying to get that perfect sleep. I didn't feel as if I ever did. You wake up with a red mark around your face where you've had the mask on, and before that, it just wasn't. Sleeping wasn't a pleasurable experience. It was you go to bed worried that you're going to be holding your breath. You're almost in fear of going to sleep. Um, so yeah, that was why I started looking into sleep apnea to find other ways of getting around it. I mean, apart from that, and I suppose it's sleep related. You get I have a lot of aches and pains. I had gout, just your joints hurt. Being overweight as well, and everything just piles up. You think, I'm only 50. Well, at the time I was 54. 55 now, but um, yeah, you just realise that you cannot keep up with the people at work. You know, yeah, I'm self-employed, so I can go whenever I want. I can only charge for the time that I do. So, but I end up finding excuses and getting away and try and have a little sleep and stuff like that. But so yeah, I was looking for ideas to improve my sleep apnea, and then I found Dr. Canberry, and he was talking about that. And at first I saw this guy, and I didn't get it. I just thought, what have I stumbled on here? This is some sort of cult. I don't know. And it opened up the algorithm, I suppose, and I saw a lot more uh, Dr. Anthony Chaffee and to do with plants and the effect of plants as well. Um, just toxins. So yeah, it kind of led me down that, and I just thought, do you know what? I've always mainly just wanted meat. You know, I think from a kid, you never wanted. No one wanted me. I never wanted vegetables. So, but you had to eat it. It was always disguised in you know, in your meals. The carrots are mashed up with the potatoes, but it only tastes good because of the butter that was in it. And yeah, um, so I thought, well, I'll give this a go. Anything's worth a bit desperate at this time. So I I just went into it blindly, and I did it the wrong way. I just went cold turkey. That was it. Stopped all the carbs. Stopped the vegetables. Stopped the fruits. Just went straight into it, and yeah, I had a few problems at the start, as you would imagine, but but the weight was just coming off so easily. Uh, too easily. I think I think at one point, people were thinking that you just looked ill because you're losing weight so quickly. Your skin's not keeping up with your body, and yeah, you just don't look. You look a bit. I think you don't look well. So
Yeah, but I've heard other people say their friends are like, have you got cancer or something?
yeah,
You know?
yeah, they look at you in that way as if to say, I want to ask him, but I don't think I should. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that was around just before April of last year. So it's been a year and a half now. So yeah, I mean, I haven't. I don't call it a diet anymore. It's just my lifestyle. I've never really liked vegetables, so I used to like fruit, um, but and you get told that fruit is good for you and everything like that. And when I looked at my diet, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd have things like Weetabix or something like that, and you have a bit of fruit. And then at some point, I thought, oh, well, it's got to be good to have fruit. So I'll do a big smoothie, chuck all the fruits in the blender, have that in the morning, go to work, and but then 2 hours later you're looking at you have a banana. Then you still think you're doing something healthy, and then you get to lunchtime, and Mum's always saying have carbs, something at lunchtime. Don't have carbs in the evening, have it at lunchtime. So you'd have something carby at lunchtime, and then in the evening you just have a regular meal. And you think, what else can I do? I'm doing everything they tell you to do. You know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like all our lives, we do everything that they tell us to do, whether it's the
Mm.
TV, whether it's doctors, nutritionists, whoever, and we just don't get anywhere.
No,
Things
I
just
think
gradually get worse and worse and worse.
yeah, and I think doctors they look at you in a way and go, yeah, okay, you've been doing it. We've told you to do this, and you think, yeah, I am doing it, but what about the weekends? Or I mean, you try your best, and there's always going to be um, some temptations, and then you do have maybe the odd little bit, but you don't think. You look at that and you go, ah, well, there you go. There's your problem. What one small? I mean, I don't really drink alcohol, not anymore. Never really did in the past. For me, having a beer, I'd have one. Yeah, that was okay on a hot day. The second one, I'm struggling with it. I just feel bloated, you know. So I used to have things like vodka, maybe, but that was just to have something in your hand, just to be sociable, you know, just to be
Yeah.
sociable. So I said even today, just if I'm away or something and with friends and they're having a drink, I would just have a vodka and Diet Coke or something. That would be my just something to hold and just have, but literally one of those, and that's I'm fine with that.
So, in the last year and a half, how have you been eating?
Um, well, it's mainly in the morning. It's a steak and probably three eggs with that. And people say, "Don't you get bored of that?" And I said, "No." I, it actually helps me get out of bed in the morning. You kind of excited. You've already put it out on the side or overnight just to get the temperature, and then you go down, you have it, and you're done. Um, at the start, I think it was a struggle to get out of the old mindset of the 3 meals a day. So I would take something in at lunchtime, normally bacon or something like that, just something to eat, maybe some cheese. And then in the evening, I'd have something else. And I used to think to myself, well, I don't know if I feel hungry. I feel like I'm just eating because you think you should be eating around that time. So over the year, it's or a year and a half now. It has changed. Um, I don't now have anything at work. Um, I just don't feel like I need to. So I'm sort of walking around thinking, what do I do at lunchtime now? So yeah, and then when I get home in the evening, I'm starting to get hungry. Um, Recently, I've been doing bone broth and sort of you know getting that, having something like that to have to drink, and then maybe some nights I'd have like an omelette or something with I don't know cheese. I mean, I do have cheese in my diet. It's something I've been thinking about maybe cutting back on. Um, I mean, I'd say my sleep is now a lot better. Um, and if I go to bed late, it sounds weird, but if I go to bed at sort of 12 o'clock, I can sort of sleep through to 5, 6. If I go to bed sort of 10 o'clock, I'll be awake at 1, I'll be awake at 3. It's sort of broken sleep. So I'm still sort of finely tuning it. But the fact that I don't have the machine anymore is the biggest incentive, I suppose.
And when were you able to give the machine away?
I believe it was about 6 months ago, maybe no, maybe longer than that, 8 months ago. I mean, the weight come off quite quickly. Um, I am down to 160 pound now. So yeah, in total from the highest weight, it's about 62 pounds, I suppose. So
That's a good bit of weight loss.
yeah, and it's. I mean, I get nicknamed now as Skinny Steve now. So um, which I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't
No.
see it. I don't see it as skinny. This is how we're supposed to look. This is normal. I think we get so used to seeing people larger now, and yeah, when I go out in the car and I just see people in general, I just think everybody's sick. You know, even ones that think they're slim, they've still got stomachs and bloatiness and things like that. And you feel like you want to say something to them, but you know you can't. You see big people out jogging, and you think, yeah, you shouldn't be jogging. You should be sorting your diet out first, and then getting your exercise. yeah, all you're going to do is just injure yourself, and you're not going to
Mm,
enjoy doing it, and then you just probably go back to eating more.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that's something I've thought about before as well. When you see someone who's, clearly getting started on a New Year's resolution or something,
yeah,
they're getting out there and they're doing the exercise, and I think good on them. But I
yeah,
wish I could go up and just say to them, you know what?
yeah,
At the moment, it's just a waste of time. You're better off fixing what's happening in the kitchen first.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, I mean, I've started going to the gym. I think it was sort of end of last year. My daughter got where she's working now at the David Lloyd, and she gets a free membership for a family member. So I was lucky enough to get that. So I've got free membership there. And when I started going there, I went back to the machine that I used to like, was the treadmill, and I started jogging on that thing. And I thought, well, I'm not really tired, so I'll just go up. So it's gone from 5 to 8 jogging away, and I think I need to increase this again. So I've gone up, and in the end, I was doing like every time I was going in, I was doing for between about 35, 45 minutes, and I'm coming off there thinking I'm not sweating. I've already lost the weight. I just don't feel tired, and I just felt like I was getting bored of just running all the time. Yeah, and then I looked into it, and I saw an interview with Dr. Anthony Chafee with a guy from New Zealand. I think it was about he wrote books on carbs, and over the years he's had to revise his book, and now he's completely the opposite way that you do not, require.
Oh, I think you mean Tim Noakes from South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Okay, yeah, and that was just, that was incredible to watch that, especially the stories from Chafee as well about the rugby teams, with all this sponsorship, and they can't tell anyone that they've actually gone carnivore or along those lines. I mean, it's good to hear, And then people say, well, you need carbs, for your energy. Well, there was that guy who done those 5 marathons recently, completely fasting, and yeah, it just proves you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
So
it's and it's hard to look back on, the last 40, 50, 60 years and kind of go, I've been doing everything wrong.
yeah, no, 100%, yeah, and you feel like you're doing everything right. That's well, you're trying your best. I mean, everyone has the odd takeaway, things like that, and Christmas comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's been good. I had, like I say, I had gout as well, arthritis. Well, early, what I put down as early arthritis, and for temping bowling that I do, I used to take ibuprofen all the time, before, after, and before bed, and it was a constant, just bombarding yourself with ibuprofen just to keep inflammation down and things like that, keep the pain away, just so you can do the same thing the next day. But I haven't had any ibuprofen for a little. Actually, no. I can't remember what's the date now. Trying to look back. Italy was in June, so yeah, it's a few months ago. I was in Italy for the ISB Masters tournament, and Italy, it's known for its carbs, and it's quite hard to sort of keep on what you want to do. You can go to the shops, we can get bits and pieces to keep at our place, but when you're out, it's very hard. And the food comes out with all the chips or pasta or whatever it is, and you're trying not to have those sort of things, but you do. But we was out there for a week, and by the end of the week, I found myself having an ibuprofen again, and my toe started to swell up. I was starting to get that gout feeling again, and I thought, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. But when you're away for work or away for pleasure, you're trying to find, um, the foods that you want to keep eating. Sometimes it's harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just amazing how quick it comes on, you know?
yeah, definitely,
Mm.
definitely. Yeah, but just the achy joints and things like that. But just getting a better sleep obviously just helps you now focus more on things. I feel like I'm running around in circles in at work. I've got all the energy now. Well, I didn't have it before. Uh,
Yeah.
I went away for a job with two guys, both in their 30s, and we've been working all morning. And then we went for lunch, and they wanted McDonald's or something like that. And in the end, yeah, we went to that, and I just had the burgers with the cheese on top, threw the buns away. I think I had a diet coke or whatever with that, and they were having the burgers, the chips, the ice cream, and the milkshake, and they're getting back to work, and they're sort of, they feel like, oh, I could do with a sleep now. I thought, no, I feel fine. I feel fine. Just want to get on with the work, and then we're sort of there till 7 o'clock from sort of 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, energy levels
Um,
is really good. Yeah.
yeah, I've kind of experienced the thing in McDonald's, eating just the patties, and
Mm.
I remember back when I started and I was doing that, and I'm getting all these looks from these people like, "You're crazy," and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, "Take a look at yourself. You're the one that's poisoning yourself," you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you get the
Mm.
usual thing, oh my God, your cholesterol must be really high and you're going to have a heart attack. And you try and point them in the right direction if they want to find out about that thing. I mean, you know, don't want to, it's no point going into it with them. Yeah, I do say some things, but if they really want to know, they've only got to look it up themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get into it, because when you're talking to everyone that you're talking to has been in the same position, or is in the same position you were, and that's, they've
Mm.
had the lifetime of this education, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
Mm.
But, now it's, where I was at a point in my life where I was just thinking, I can't. I'm only 54. What's in store for me now if I'm struggling at work? I've got another 20 years of this. So yeah, it certainly gives you a new lease of life, and energy. It just gives you your life back. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
suppose people would argue that could be from any diet if you do it correctly. But I feel as if I tried different diets. I think years ago I tried the Cambridge one, but these are all ones that um, you lose weight quickly, but then you've got to go back to eating. And that's with a lot of these diets. Cut all this out, cut all that out. You can have that maybe in a few months' time. Have a little treat. Well, now you can just eat whatever you want. This isn't a diet now for me. It's just a lifestyle. And if I'm bowling on a Tuesday night and they have their usual sweets on the side, occasionally I will say, yeah, I have one, and my body will deal with that. That's fine. It's almost like you kind of get more in tune with your body. Its borders. You have one, two. Yeah, you go too far, and your body will let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, your body's good at going, "Hey, hang on. We're not doing this again, mate."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and it's the same with most of the stuff. So you just keep it in mind. Just go about your day. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend, she kind of does it, and she does do it a little bit, and she always says she feels the best. And yeah, she's a health and well-being coach, so she deals with diabetics. She does the foot checks and the blood tests is phlebotomist as well. So she's been interested. We have interesting conversations about this, and
I'm
she
surprised she's not kind of pushing back on it. That's interesting.
well, she sends me all the information for the what the latest diets for diabetes and that. And the one she had sent the other year and right on the first page it said, "Fat is your friend," and I thought, well, that's different, you know. But they've still got the other things in there, and there's still carbs. I get it. People think it should be a balanced food, and they think you can't just eat meat. It's not sustainable. They don't, they can't see past. They want their takeaways every week and their beer at the weekend, and I just, it is an option. And I find it. I could slip off and have something I wouldn't normally have, but I go back onto it straight away. I think if you did it long enough, it could be a problem, but if you the once and twice, it's not that bad. But yeah, you get
Yeah,
back straight back on it. Your body tells you when it's stop there. That's the way I
right.
see it.
So, you mentioned that they're calling you Skinny Steve at work.
No, that's
Like, has
in
anyone
bowling. In bowling,
at bowling. Has
yeah,
anyone at bowling or at work kinda said to you, "Hey, l what are you doing? Let me try this?"
yeah. There's a few people there that have been interested. One guy is doing it, kind of doing it, but I think some people get it wrong, and they think, oh, it's okay to have a glass of wine in the evening with that, or do this. I think my advice you would check out the Kenberries and the anti-chafee and people like Bart K as well. So you educate yourself why you're doing it, not just doing it for doing its sake, um, and why these things can affect the body. So and doing it the right way and not having the carbs, and the reasons for it, and just educate yourself. That's my advice. I will help them and I'll give them my advice, but they really need to, you know, you can put the seed of sort of curiosity in their head. If they've got that, then they will go on the internet. They will try and find out. Anytime there's a word they don't understand, they, you know, ask Alexa or whatever, start her off. Um, I live in this house by myself, so I ask that thing lots of questions to try and find out. Yeah, it's either that or YouTube as well. So
So, Steve, it's really good to hear that this has been so good for you.
mm.
If people want to reach out to you, do you have any way of getting in contact? Do you have any social media or
um,
anything?
I suppose it's Facebook. I've got all my bowling community on there.
Nice.
Mm.
So I'll link to your Facebook below.
Okay,
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, Steve. I
yeah,
really
no, it's been
appreciate
a
your
pleasure.
time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.